Welcome to QZenith video tutorials. Hi guys, hope you're doing great, and in this video I'm going to guide you through how to use command line help in Parrot operating system. So let's get started. Now, command line is a very complex tool. Each command has its own unique options. Therefore, documentation is the key when working with a Linux system. So I'm going to walk you through how we can get help from the command line interface. The first one, it's going to be the built-in help. The next, it's going to be the man pages. The third one we're going to discuss about would be the info pages. The fourth one, it's going to be the user share doc directory. The fifth one, it's going to be the locating files. And the last one, it's going to be the find command. So let us explore each of these help commands one by one. Let us start with built-in help. When we start with the --help parameter, most commands display some brief instructions about their usage. Not all commands provide this switch. It is still a good first try to learn more about the parameters of a command. So be aware that the instructions from --help often are rather brief compared to other sources of documentation, which we will discuss in the rest of this lesson. As you can see that we used to create directory using this specific mkdir command. So what switches or options you can use with mkdir, you can see over here. So how do we get these options? Just by typing --help. So it helps you to get what kind of option or switches that you can use with that command for additional support from that specific command. So we only used mkdir, but we never used these options. So you can see that these are the options, and what it does, it actually sets file mode as in change mode, not a read, write, execute, or unmask. So this option, as of now, maybe you're not going to understand this, but later on I will make sure that what these are the permissions, and then I'm going to cover this in the upcoming videos. But as of now, you can see that if you want to know what switches you can use with any of the commands, you can type, let's say cat is the command to read the file. So I would say cat --help to see what options I can use with that cat command. So just try it out by yourself, just by typing the command followed by --help to see what all options or switches that you can use with that specific command. So always be aware that the instructions from this --help often are rather brief compared to the other sources of documentation, which we will be discussing in the rest of this lesson. So let me clear this screen and let us start with man pages. So most commands provide a manual page, or also known as man page. So this documentation is usually installed with the software and can be accessed with the man command. The command whose man page should be displayed is added to man as an argument. So you can see that we have used this man mkdir command, which opens the man page for mkdir, or for making the directory command. You can use the up and down arrow keys or the space bar to navigate through the man page, and you can see all of these options. Again, a little bit of detailed version than the previous one that we saw in dash dash help. So you can try this man page help on different commands as well. Try it by yourself. And if you wanted to exit from this man page, you can just hit Q to exit out from this page. Another tool that will help you while working with the Linux system are the info pages. The info pages are usually more detailed than the man pages or the dash dash help command, and man pages are formatted in hypertext similar to web pages on the internet. So you can type info mkdir. So if you get this kind of error, that means info is not installed in your system. So to install info, you can just type sudo and then apt update. First update your system, type the password, and it's going to update your system first. And then after doing so, you can install the info package by just typing sudo apt install info and then hit enter to install that specific package. And to continue, you can just hit Y and then hit enter. So now you can see that info is successfully downloaded and installed. Now let's try it again just by typing info mkdir and then hit enter. Now you can see the info pages. So info reads an info file that is structured into individual nodes within a tree. Each node contains a simple topic, and the info command contains hyperlinks that can help you move from one to other. You can access the link just by pressing enter while placing the cursor on one of the leading asterisks. And if you're done, just like the man pages, you can just hit Q to quit from the info page. Now you can try this info command with different commands to get help in details and what kind of options or switches that you can run with that specific command. Now let us talk about the user share doc. So this is the directory that stores most documentation of the commands that the system is using. And this directory contains a directory for most packages installed on the system. So the name of the directory is usually the name of the package and occasionally its version. So these directories include a README or readme.txt file that contains the package's basic documentation. Alongside the README file, the folder can also contain other documentation files, such as the changelog, which includes the history of the program in detail on examples of configuration files for the specific package. Now, let us discuss about the locating files. So, a Linux system is built from numerous directories and files. And Linux has many tools to locate a particular file within a system. So, the quickest one is the locate command. And you can see that my locate command is not working because this locate command is not installed in my system. So if you want to install this package, the same you can do just like the info page, sudo apt update your system first. And then when the system is updated, you can run sudo apt install locate and -y just to make sure that whenever it's going to ask you any kind of confirmation, you don't have to type Y again and again. It's going to bypass all the confirmations and hit enter. So now you can see that it's downloading the locate package and the locate package is installed. Always make sure that locate searches within a database and then outputs every name that matches the given string. So if I say locate and I'm going to type any of the file name such as note and then hit enter. Now you can see that I don't have any kind of note file. So to get the good response from locate, always make sure that the database of the locate has been updated. So to update the locate database, you can just type update db to update the database and then hit enter. Now it's trying to update the locate database. So now whenever I'm going to run locate command, and if I try to search any of the files in the system, it's going to search it for me. Now I'm going to try it again, locate note and then hit enter. Now also make sure that the database should be updated via the root login. So sudo su, hit enter to log in as root, and then type update db and then hit enter, just to make sure that the locate database gets updated. Okay, so let me exit out from this path. So I'm going to go to my root directory, cd /root, and then hit enter. Now if I'm going to type pwd, it's going to show me that I'm back to my root directory. Now if I'm going to say locate and then type the name of the file, so it's going to be security.md and then hit enter. Now you can see that all the security MD files are going to be extracted, and the locate command shows that all of the security MD files path. So now the security MD file is the file that is again related to the commands that are stored in the user share doc directory that I showed you in the previous example. And you can see that all of the security MD files are on the same path as user share. So always make sure that whenever you work with locate command, locate actually works with the database. So locate searches whatever you type the file name, it searches the file name within the database and then outputs every name that matches the given string as shown over here on the screen. So you can try it by yourself just to make sure that the locate command works with different file names as well. Also make sure that the file does exist in the system. If there's no file, that means cannot search and it cannot respond you with the positive response. Now let us talk about the last but not the least command. It's going to be the find command. Find is another very popular tool that is used to search for files. So this command has a different approach compared to the locate command, recursively including its subdirectories. Now, find command searches a directory tree. Find does search a search at each invocation. It does not maintain a database like locate. So when you work with find actually requires at least the path it should search. You need to make sure that where do you want to search, whether you wanted to search in the current directory or you wanted to search in the root directory. So I'm going to clear the screen, and as of now you can see that I'm in the root directory. So if I say find followed by the name of the file such as security.md and then hit enter, it's not going to search. But if I say find dot, that means find in the current directory, and then name of the file, it's going to be, let's say, security.md and then hit enter. Now it's going to search in the current directory. So all of those security MD files, you can see that current directory, the root directory, and after the root directory we have got the user directory. Within the user directory we have got the share directory, the documents directory, and the department directory, and the security.md. So that means when you work with locate doesn't need any kind of path to be mentioned, but in find you have to specify the path where do you want that file to be searched on. That's the difference between locate and find command. So try the different file names just to make sure that find and locate works. Again, I'm going to repeat that locate works with the database. If the database is not updated, that means locate cannot search for that specific file or any of the file that you are typing or the given string. But find requires the current directory or the user's home directory. You need to specify the path, and then the find command is going to work on that specific path. So that's the difference between find and locate. So these are the command line help commands that will help you to know what that command does or what switches or options that you can use with the specific command or given string. This is it in this video. Hope it was informative for you. I will see you on my next video. Thank you for watching.